Played it pretty well, didn't he? It's not
16.
on an easy red, but it's very meaty contact with the bunch. Cue ball, saying earlier, it stayed in the centre of the table. You still need luck, though. You still need the balls to land perfectly, and they haven't quite done so. It's an awkward shot that he's faced with here, thin cut.
Mark Selby, 16.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate not to have something easier than that.
One.
Plays that very well. Always difficult to judge the pace of the white with the red so close to the pocket. Tends to slow down or check off the cushion. Again, Ronnie looking at the table trying to solve the puzzle.
Yeah, nobody does it better, solving puzzles, unlocking the important or key shots to make the break happen.
Yeah, identifying the key red and getting on it as soon as possible.
There's a prime example, Fergal, isn't it? Either the red to the left of the black or the one right next to it. And you can see how they open everything up. Black's now open to both pockets, or will be when the next red's potted, and that's the art of break building, isn't it?
Absolutely. Has the picture in his mind and then has the skill in his hands.
I've always felt that so many of O'Sullivan's centuries have been
14.
about the first 4 or 5 shots where he just makes things happen, brings balls into play, and then he does the rest.
15.
Well, he doesn't seem very happy
22.
with that one. He's overstunned, I think. Can he get to the red? Well, that'd be annoying if you're sitting in a chair, because for a second you think you're okay.
Yeah, it looked like he was just playing it out of frustration, but actually went just about. Again, very uncharacteristic. Normally when he's in amongst the balls, his cue ball control is immaculate. You can see how frustrated he was.
I always think that if you're 50-50 on those, whether you think they will or won't go, they're usually just about, you're just in favour of them going. But he was a bit half-heartedly playing it, and he doesn't seem to have the usual consummate cue ball control here.
30.
It's gone again.
Yeah, you can see he's fuming. Such a good opportunity. He'd been straight on the black. There's one thing that's going to annoy Ronnie more than anything, it seems to be straight on the black.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 30.
To say that O'Sullivan is disappointed about that break and the way he executed it is an understatement. It's rare to see his cue ball so out of control. I'm not even sure what he played on from that black, because didn't seem to be a lot that went to that left corner unless he tried to play on the left red, in which case he was absolutely miles away from the right position. It means the frame is still anybody's.
Ronnie distracted by something or someone.
这边有个人，
Probably a photographer.
叫他不要动。
in that room and used to get moving.
Yeah, was a photographer.
The camera room.
Yeah, he was in that room but just kept moving around. They like it's gone.
I think it was somebody with a camera. He has issues with people with cameras. I think O'Sullivan. Whatever it was putting him off slightly. Person's gone now.
Just got to be careful he doesn't get a double kiss in the red or hit the other red close to the pocket. Red closest to the left-hand corner pocket. If that wasn't there, that shot would have been a lot easier. Just fearful of that, catching that. That's why he caught the red too thin. Caught the jaws.
One.
Similar to the 3 previous frames this evening.
8.
Not been one visit. Both players getting chances. Both players look like they're in control during the frame. Again, it's Mark's turn here to try and
9.
launch a counter-attack. All the balls up in the open. To steer the white across.
Well, it looked like it was going to finish short, or he thought it was, and it's not far from being absolutely perfect in the end.
Might have been trying to be on the other red, just below it. Of course, if he played that one, he'd be able to play can on the 2 reds close together.
$13.
I don't think they're 2 reds you'd like to leave as a plant. Might have a slight angle here. We could maybe run through and disturb them. Too straight for that.
$20. $21.
Yeah, nice pot, well controlled. I said before, ideally you'd love an angle on this red just to pot it and stun down the right-hand red of the 2 beyond the
26.
black, put it into play. Yeah, this looks perfect.
$27.
Yes, he's taken them well so far. It's hard to think that he
34.
wouldn't get the frame 1 here. There have been a few reversals, but this one just needs a couple of reds and blacks, and frame is done.
35.
what might have been in this session is that the player could have won
42.
3 of the 4 frames, either player in fact. Sullivan was in first, but his cue ball just lost control twice in that break he made. It's very unlike him. I think that hurts him more than anything when he doesn't have the control that we're used to used to seeing him with.
That doesn't annoy him the most. Photographers will.
Well, yeah, there was something, but many a photographer has been sent marching partway through a match over the years. So I think
52.
Selby will be relieved after everything that's happened in this 4-frame session to still hold on to any kind of a lead. From his point of view,
55.
previous frame was one that the one that got away. I think should have won that one. Certainly was a strong favourite too, but didn't. But there's plenty more in this match. A lot of mileage left.
59.
Hard to think that it's not going to be a classic. It already is a very gripping encounter.
64. $70.
77 break from Mark Selby. So Selby and O'Sullivan have shared the first 4 frames of the evening. And all that means that Mark Selby, who led 5-4 coming into tonight, is now leading by 7 frames to 6. So that's, we've got the Pole d'Or coming up, the endurance race. 58 teams will complete. It'll be up soon, live on Eurosport, but maybe more on that in a while, because I think the players have returned quicker than we first thought for the second part of this match. If you are interested in that Pole d'Or, it is 2:30 Central European time. So not a great break off there from Mark Selby. Might have got away with it. Quite unusual way that the balls have finished from that break off. Ronnie turned round and probably didn't expect to see them where they are. But still all to play for in this match.
Yeah, got it very thick. Unusual so far into the match. Sometimes the first break off or two you have in a match, you don't know exactly how the balls are going to throw or the spread. Certainly this late. Maybe just a slight lapse of concentration just coming back from the interval.
Had a few tweets about these semi-finals, whether they should have played day one as the first 10 frames, the first 9 frames rather, of each of the games, and played both semi-finals to conclusion tomorrow. I suppose in some ways that would be fairer, but depends on what the sponsors want, I guess. You could end up with a fairly light second day if both matches are one-sided, albeit it seems unlikely that would be the case.
Yeah, I think definitely an advantage. Whoever wins today has a day off. And of course they'll be hoping that the other semi-final goes 10-9 and late. You can sometimes see at the Crucible, whoever's played the second semi-final finishes late at night, can be a disadvantage.
Well, that was Mark Selby, wasn't it? Just in May against Luca Bracel, who'd won his great comeback against Si Jiahui in the afternoon, and the Mark Selby-Mark Allen match went on until after midnight. Selby was still at the Crucible, you know, until just before 2 AM, doing his press on the morning of the final. And of course, if anyone can, he can. But then when Luca came out and won a 6-minute frame, led 1-0 and put him on the back foot already, maybe he felt a little weary. Safe to say, Fergal, that semi-final with Mark Selby, Mark Allen was a pretty grueling affair, wasn't it?
17.
I like the way you mentioned me and grueling together.
Well, yeah, it's nothing personal, Fergal. You know, I was in
It was an
commentary
obvious
for that
link.
2-hour frame, as I heard discussed yesterday, but in the World Championships, I understood what was up for grabs. I mean, it's just more the anomaly of the way it works, really. And Mark Selby never made an excuse of that at any point, in fairness to him. And I don't think that's why he lost that final to Luca Purcell, because he came back, and of course he made a 1-4-7 that same evening as well. So, you know, it wasn't as if he was overly tired, but I think when the 35 frame final began, he was maybe not completely switched on to it, which is understandable.
One.
It looks quite straight on the black here. Just roll it in. Played it well there, cued it lovely.
8.
A little bit unfortunate to be slightly hampered queuing. You know, if he just drops it in pocket weight.
Nine.
Yeah, even that previous red struck it lovely. It was only a simple little pot as
16.
such. Being hampered, queuing didn't help. Just didn't sacrifice his technique. You can see there's the brown go past the green.
Seventeen.
Considering the balls haven't been ideal for a lot of the chances tonight, it's still quite fluent mark. I said sometimes it comes in for unfair criticism, I think. Obviously it doesn't, not as quick or make it look as easy as O'Sullivan does,
22.
but nobody does. Nobody ever has.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's got to play the game in their own way.
23.
No two players can be exactly the same. Players play at different speeds around the table for a reason, and also the game comes more naturally to some than others. Selby is just, as I said earlier, a consummate match player in the John Higgins mould, and back in the day, the Steve Davis mould, I think. And if you beat Mark Selby, you've, especially over a long session, you've really deserved it, I think, because he plays all the right shots, and he also
28.
he's got this thing where he just never gives up. He attributes it to his father, who passed away when he was young. His dad told him he must never give up at whatever he does, and he certainly has
29.
held that close to his heart, that motto, and he stuck by it.
Yeah, 779 centuries in his career. And again, even during this match, surprisingly, he's done
36.
most of the heavy scoring. It's getting to the stage in the modern game. You have to have 1,000 centuries to be
37.
considered a great break builder.
Yes, he went past one of the all-time greats, didn't he? Stephen Hendry on 7.77 just very recently. Stephen was on 7.75, and we thought that was the end of his century break making, and then a decade later he comes out of retirement, has made 2 more since.
I'm sure Stephen sent down his good wishes.
Right now, though, I think the break of
44.
80 would be more than satisfactory for him, because it would get him another frame, get him a 2-frame lead.
Just looking to see when potting this red. Got a contact, he might get in the red. Can he find the gap?
45.
Didn't jeopardise the pot, just made sure but felt he'd have some sort of a shot on either pink or blue. Yeah, the blue's not ideal. With a couple of reds open, he just has to pot it, screw back. Should have been choice of reds.
Yeah, I'd be pleased enough with that. Little nudge on the pink.
Yeah, probably made it sound easier
50.
than it was. Still totally cued well to get the reaction on the white. Again, the story of tonight's break building. Balls haven't been ideal, but he's been very patient, very disciplined. Without making any shot bigger than it actually is.
$51. $57. $58.
Again, just looking exactly where I'd like the white to be after playing this pink. The red to the left, would like to pot that. Obviously avoid any other balls. .64 ahead. This red, another colour.
64.
Should be the frame secured. Should be able to hold for the black.
$65.
Yeah. Bigger area playing for the pink.
Yes, I mean, this is frame ball, but he would certainly like another red just to seal the deal, and it's not a simple red that he'll be playing on. Ooh. Wow.
Mark Selby.
In concerning himself with the red, he did something I don't think Fergal and I expected. That was a surprise that he missed that.
Very uncharacteristic mistake by Mark there.
He just got himself at it a little bit, didn't he? Thinking about how much further the break could go. Maybe had he played the shot you said and held for the black, would have been in a better position. But either way, the frame is now one that it's not impossible that O'Sullivan could steal. That would be a dramatic turnaround.
to be conscious of the fact in potting the pink, Ronnie would still need a snooker to not do anything careless. So I
7.
think you probably overestimated the danger. Just pot the pink, play a very good safety. You're still going to stay in control.
You did something that everyone has done in the game. You almost take your eye off the pot, or certainly think maybe a little too far ahead of yourself because it was frame ball. But now the moment which would make it even more painful. Sullivan does need 3 reds and 3 blacks here. It wouldn't be easy to get a black with each red.
Yeah, similar pattern to earlier on, but I think of all the frames that could have the most damage, potentially, it will be this one. Not that he was so close to winning the frame, but it was such a terrible mistake, you would have to say, from Mark.
It's going to be a task to pop a red up by his hand now at the other end of the table. Because it's one thing getting on the red, but with an angle to play on the black, and that's not easy. Any colour, that would be different. I think he'd land on the red and he'd fancy clearing. Look at this for a shot, Virgil. Goodness me, that's absolutely A1. That is brilliant.
Yeah. For a moment, I think you forgot who was playing. Yeah, beautiful shot.
Well, that's a bit much, someone moving. Clearly, this is a very important passage of play here, the most important in the match. Sullivan's played a sensational positional shot and he's got distracted by somebody.
Oh, the black as well. Didn't even look like he could hit too hard.
Well, this really is quite a moment. I mean, clearance and a half if he makes it.
39.
I don't think I've seen many better positional shots than that for a very long time. He had to get perfectly on the red with an angle to get on the black. He judged it. Like the genius he is.
41.
Yes, it did hit it with much power. Beautiful strike on the white. And Mark Selby very strong mentally. This will hurt.
He's just got to do it still, hasn't he? And brown to blue is always the last possible stumbling block. Position on the blue is key.
48.
And again, just pot the blue, come off the cushion, make sure you get high on the pink.
$53.
Beautifully played.
$59.
So the black for an absolutely sensational clearance. Well, what a turnaround that is from O'Sullivan. That was absolutely brilliant. Selby missing frame ball, seemingly very easy. But what a clearance from O'Sullivan. Top-notch disappointment for Selby. But more drama here in Shanghai. Because the players now are locked at 7 frames all. You wouldn't want to miss the rest of this match. Well, how significant is that previous frame going to be where O'Sullivan made absolutely monumental clearance?
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
So this match 7-all. I think the agony is twofold there for Mark Selby. I think he just got a bit sidetracked. He was thinking about potting the pink and then a red to follow it to guarantee the frame. Missed the frame ball, which he didn't see coming, and then to sit through that wonderful clearance would have really hurt him. But it's made this match even more fascinating than it already was, quite honestly. The most wonderful clearance you'll see.
Yeah, that's the appeal of watching Ronnie play. It's not just what he does, it's how he does it. Again, there was a big pressure clearance, but it certainly didn't look like it. Under pressure never seems to compromise his routine or shot selection.
Yeah, just it's a question of leaving a door just slightly open, isn't it? That they just sort of burst through and walk in. It's the nature of this game. We've seen John Higgins doing that for such a long time over the course of his career, stealing frames at the last gasp. All the top players can do it, but O'Sullivan, he saw an opportunity there from nowhere, which was at the hands of a Selby error. Probably shouldn't have got the chance to clear. Anyway, it's a best of 5 from here now. It's lived up to the billing this match. It's been top-notch. And hard to think, as I say it again, that this won't be a very close encounter.
Particularly so early on in the season, to have these two players embroiled in such good battle. Again, like previous frames at the start, both players battling away, looking to try and take control of the frame, get the first chance. Beautiful again.
I mean, his long game has always been a feature of his game, but still perhaps not to the extent of one or two other players in the world. And that is happening as well. And even better, he's certainly got the black into play. Is he on something? Deserves to be.
Yeah, it was noticeable yesterday's match with John Higgins. Early on, his long putting was quite poor, and then the last two frames put a good grid to make a break to make 5-all. And then the first red he got in the last frame is phenomenal, and of course made a break.
Good shot to move that red away from the other one. They were both in each other's way, and it looks like he's pushed it away from the black spot as well. So is that previous frame going to be a huge momentum shift in the whole of this match? Sullivan gets in here
14.
with a good chance, and I feel like things have changed completely. If so,
15.
Yeah, Mark would have never thought after playing his last shot that he'd potentially lose the frame, but it seems just a blink of an eye. Ronnie's in prime position, and again, very rarely from here does he lose control of the white. Always seems to be in the right position, continue the break as easy as possible, with the white ball travelling as short as distance as possible. That's broke down
23.
early a couple of times this evening. We feel it's more than likely that'll change. I think the last few years definitely seems more at peace playing Mark Selby. I always got a sense for years that Mark could get under his skin. I think he kind of accepted the
31.
fact that Mark plays hard, tough match snooker against everybody, and wasn't deliberately trying to do some spoiling tactics to stop Ronnie. He just concentrated on his own game and backed himself.
yeah, I mean, I think spoiling tactics don't really work enough, do they?
38.
You've got to pot the balls in the end. I mean, that's always going to be the way to beat anybody. I know what you mean. You can put players out of their stride, and you're right. Selby has not been doing that. You know, he is a different player to O'Sullivan. I don't think Ronnie's always had the patience to deal with it.
59.
But
Yeah, Selby hasn't changed. Ronnie's just had to change in accordance to play.
Important shot that it goes in. O'Sullivan this.
46.
Oh, oh, oh.
Mark Selby 4.
Jetzt hat Max Selby natürlich die Chance zu einem Stil. ...67 Punkte liegen noch auf dem Tisch. ...65 Punkte die Differenz. Also er dürfte sich einmal Pink erlauben. Ansonsten muss es für Mark Selby bei jeder der Roten dann auch schwarz sein. Aber unmöglich ist sowas nicht. Ronnie O'Sullivan hat das ja eben demonstriert. Das wird O'Sullivan jetzt auch ärgern, denn der will ja eigentlich diese schnellen, flüssigen Frames. Hohes Break, zack, Kuchen gegessen. Shot to nothing von Ronnie O'Sullivan. Damit locht er im zweiten Anlauf den Frameball. Ho, ho. Also, es ist kein Touching Ball. Wang Wei, der Schiedsrichter, hat danach geschaut.
It's foul.
Foul.
动了吗
Gleich das zweite Mal in diesem Match, dass es Diskussionen mit Wang Wei gibt.
那个有可以看得到吗？可以看得到，可以看得到。
Und Ronnie O'Sullivan sagt da, also hundertprozentig habe er
放一下吗？
da den Kontakt mit
我
Braun
看到他为
gehabt.
什么没有动？会放有没有？
Im dritten Frame, da gab es schon mal eine Diskussion, ob er da... Ja, Braun hat sich bewegt. Also am Markertisch versuchen sie jetzt gerade, das nochmal anhand der Fernsehbilder zu sehen. Aber meiner Meinung nach hatte sich der Braun bewegt. Ganz leicht nur, klar. Also auch wenn die 4 Foulpunkte gegeben werden, bräuchte Max Selby noch immer Snooker. Wenn Schiedsrichter Wang Wei diese Entscheidung jetzt nicht zurücknimmt, was er natürlich machen kann, auch ein Schiedsrichter kann mal was verkehrt sehen und ist dann gut beraten. Ja, ganz leichte Bewegung ist da zu erkennen.
Okay. Firm conceded. Firm conceded.
Kein Foul, er hat die Entscheidung zurückgenommen, aber Mark Selby lag ja zu weit hinten, hat deswegen den Frame aufgegeben. 8:7 für Ronnie O'Sullivan, der liegt damit zum ersten Mal seit dem 4:3 wieder vorne. Frame 16 hat gerade begonnen mit dem Anstoß von Mark Selby. Wieder kein optimaler Anstoß, aber dieses Mal nutzt Ronnie O'Sullivan das nicht aus. Das war das erste Mal in diesem Frame, dass O'Sullivan am Tisch war. 8:7 also für O'Sullivan. Und ja, so langsam wird die Luft natürlich dünner. Also Selby steht hier schon unter Druck. Schafft er das 8:8, ist alles wieder offen. Ein 7:9, das ist dann schon ein kritischer Rückstand. Die Frage ist auch der Disput mit Schiedsrichter Wang Wei, hat der noch Nachwirkungen oder haben Sie das jetzt hinter sich gelassen? Ich will dem Schiedsrichter da keinen Strick draus drehen. Es ist manchmal sehr, sehr schwer und der Schiedsrichter kann nicht erst eine Wiederholung sich anschauen, unter Umständen noch mehrfach, sondern er muss sofort eine Entscheidung treffen. Und es ist ja aller Ehren wert, dass er dann seine Entscheidung zurückgenommen hat, nachdem er sich überzeugt hat, dass der Kontakt zwischen Spielball und Braun doch da war.
One.
Dass Ronnie O'Sullivan hier jetzt eben allerdings diesen langen Ball verschossen hat, gibt Mark Selby jetzt natürlich die Chance, wieder ins Match reinzufinden. Wichtig, um eine echte Chance zu haben, hier ein höheres Break zu schaffen, ist natürlich diese rote bei Schwarz da wegzubringen. Und das hat er jetzt sehr schnell erledigt. Er kommt mit dem Kö jetzt natürlich nicht gut an den Spielball ran. Jetzt ist er wieder auf Kurs.
28. Mark Selby, 28.
Da war er schon auf dem Weg in die nächste Position. Aber also er hat definitiv die Rote zu voll gespielt.
1.
Der Ballkontakt sah sauber aus. Auch das kann ein teurer Fehler werden. Da droht Mark Selby, das Match so ein bisschen aus den Fingern zu gleiten. O'Sullivan braucht jetzt den halblangen Ball, nachdem er vorher den Spielball etwas zu tief abgelegt hatte. Den hat er wieder richtig gut gespielt.
Two. Three.
Auch gestern gegen John Higgins war Ronnie O'Sullivan ja in der Lage, in dem Moment, als es drauf ankam, den Schalter umzulegen.
31. $39. $46.
Sicher, obwohl der gar nicht so leicht war, wie der auf den ersten Blick vielleicht gewirkt haben mag.
$52. $53.
Grün da oben an der Bande sollte nicht mehr ein Problem für Ronnie O'Sullivan werden. Also was er hier noch in der Tischmitte liegen hat, frei liegen hat, reicht allemal aus, um den Frame sicher zu machen.
61.
Schwarz plus Rot, dann braucht Mark Selby Snooker.
$68. 76.
Also, er hat gestern ja gesagt, seit 18 Monaten würde er nicht mehr gut spielen. Natürlich hat auch heute nicht alles geklappt, war auch heute nicht alles Gold, aber wenn sowas schlecht spielen ist, naja.
82.
Aber solche Turniere, gerade diese Elite-Turniere, die liegen Ronnie O'Sullivan natürlich.
84.
Der Alltag der Profis, das ist es eher, womit er nicht so gut zurechtkommt. Ah, klasse gemacht und damit ist natürlich ein weiteres Century Break möglich.
91.
Er macht ein Century daraus, spielt jetzt auch noch schwarz. Jawohl. Und er locht auch schwarz. Eine Clearance von 109 Punkten. Das zweite Century von Ronnie O'Sullivan in diesem Match bringt ihm das 9:7. Ihm fehlt also nur noch ein einziger Frame. Dann eine 69 und zuletzt die 100.
From 17. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Frame Nummer 17 beginnt. Anstoß durch Ronnie O'Sullivan. Mark Selby, der zeigte jetzt zuletzt durchaus Wirkung. Und wenn das so weitergeht, dann war sicherlich Frame Nummer 14 der entscheidende Wendepunkt. Der Frame, den Selby sich dann noch auf schwarz hat vor der Nase wegschnappen lassen. Aber Selby ist ja bekannt dafür, dass er mit dem Rücken zur Wand immer noch brandgefährlich ist. Und wieder ein Fehler. Also das ist schon vielsagend. Klar, der Spielball lag nicht ganz so weit von der Bande weg, aber trotzdem ein Mark Selby in Topform, der loch so ein Ding. Und das war ja im Frame zuvor nicht anders. Die erste Chance für Ronnie O'Sullivan, hier den Sack zuzumachen. Ist doch gut gelaufen, dass der Spielball da doch wieder an den kleinen Farben vorbeigekommen ist.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5.
Mark Selby kann erleichtert sein, dass ihn sein Fehler nicht Frame und Match kostet. Mark Selby, der hat ja durchaus des Öfteren schon mal Comebacks gegen Ronnie O'Sullivan geschafft. Auch 3 Frames, die letzten 4 Frames gewonnen. Hier braucht er jetzt nur 3 Frames. Also sicher darf sich O'Sullivan noch nicht fühlen.
Mark Selby 4.
Er hat die rote falsch getroffen und dadurch lief der Spielball dann Richtung Mitteltasche. Es war klar, wenn er diese rote verschießt, bleibt da eine Möglichkeit für Ronnie O'Sullivan liegen. Dass der schwarze Ball den Spielball jetzt noch Richtung Bande gedrückt hat, macht den Einstieg für O'Sullivan allerdings schwerer. Motto: Es gibt keine Probleme, es gibt nur Lösungen.
Six. Seven.
Er hatte sich die untere rote im Pulk angeschaut. Offensichtlich ging die aber nicht.
Twenty. $21. $26. $27.
Der 14. Frame hat die Dynamik dieses Matches vollkommen kippen lassen. Seitdem ist Mark Selby ein ganz anderer Spieler, während Ronnie O'Sullivan
35.
hier jetzt, ähnlich wie gestern in der Schlussphase gegen John Higgins, volle Pulle auf dem Gaspedal steht.
$41. 42.
Jetzt hat er wieder den Winkel, um von Schwarz in diese 4 Roten bei Pink reinzugehen. Hat dann bewusst auf diese Rote gestellt, weil er damit die Chance hat, erstmal das Bild neu zu sortieren. Da liegt jetzt eigentlich alles bereit, was er braucht. Es spricht viel dafür, dass die Siegesserie von Ronnie O'Sullivan in Shanghai anhält. Wie gesagt, seine letzte Niederlage hier hat er im Jahre 2016 kassiert.
55. $56.
Die nächste Rote ist der Framebar. Im Moment könnte Selby noch ausgleichen. Also ich weiß nicht, wie Ronnie O'Sullivan nach dem Match selber seine Leistung einordnet.
69.
Er hat heute sicherlich nicht über alle Frames gesehen brillant gespielt, aber er hat phasenweise wirklich auf allerhöchstem Niveau gespielt und vor allem in der Phase, als es drauf ankam.
77. 78.
Und ich würde nicht ausschließen, dass er das Match hier mit einem weiteren Century beendet. Der jetzt mit links, aber das ist ja kein Problem für ihn.
86.
Gestern hat er seinen Sieg über John Higgins hier auch mit 2 Centuries am Ende perfekt gemacht.
93.
Luca Bressel oder Neil Robertson wird dann am Sonntag sein Endspielgegner sein.
96.
Es ist sein 3. Century am heutigen Tag.
105.
Brillant rief da jemand rein. Brilliant. Und das ist es ja auch.
111.
Die Clearance von 118 Punkten ist der Schlusspunkt bei diesem Match. Nach 6:7 Rückstand gewinnt Ronnie O'Sullivan 4 Frames in Folge und setzt sich mit 10:7 gegen Mark Selby durch. Ronnie O'Sullivan also steht im Finale, kann weiter auf seinen 4. Shanghai-Titel in Folge hoffen.